Imagine exploring a city where, like, every corner tells a story. Monumental history feels really palpable, and world-class experiences. Often they come with a surprising price tag. Free.
Huh, yeah, it's quite something.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're journeying into the heart of the nation's capital, Washington, D.C.
That's right.
We've pulled together insights from a traveler's detailed 3-day itinerary, a lifelong local's really comprehensive guide, and also an ultimate travel hack resource.
The good mix.
Our mission for you today is essentially to synthesize these diverse perspectives into a clear, actionable guide. We want to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge, maybe some surprising facts, to help you plan, navigate, and truly experience DC without, feeling overwhelmed by all the information out there.
And what's really remarkable about these sources is how they give you such a well-rounded view. You get the sort of fresh enthusiasm of a first-timer discovering the big landmarks,
Right.
but also the nuanced understanding and like insider tips from someone who's watched the city evolve over years. This blend, it offers both practical guidance and I think a deeper appreciation for why these things actually matter to the whole DC experience.
Okay, so let's start with laying the groundwork. Planning your DC trip. When's that sweet spot? When should you visit?
Well, early spring and fall, they consistently emerge as the best times,
Okay.
mostly because the weather is just much more comfortable then.
Yeah,
And they often coincide with some really vibrant festivals, too.
comfortable weather. Sounds good.
Yeah, comfortable is key, but don't let that fool you. DC weather can be incredibly unpredictable.
Oh, really?
Seriously. Our sources strongly advise you pack layers, especially spring and fall. And here's a crucial local insight. Do not bank your entire trip on seeing the cherry blossoms.
Right. Famous but tricky.
Exactly. Their bloom is notoriously hard to predict.
Oh,
Loads of visitors arrive too early or too late. It's a gamble.
good tip.
And if you can, absolutely avoid the summer months. June, July, August. The intense heat and humidity can really just sap your energy for all that walking around.
Yeah, I can imagine. Sweaty sightseeing isn't ideal. What about crowds?
Well, expect the busiest times during spring break, summer school holidays,
Makes sense.
and especially around that National Cherry Blossom Festival. That's typically late March to mid-April.
Okay.
On the flip side, if you're looking for fewer people and you don't mind colder weather, January and February tend to be the quietest months. Hotels might be cheaper then, too.
Got it. Now, onto trip duration. How long do you really need?
The sources suggest 3 to 4 days gives you a pretty solid glimpse of the city.
A glimpse, okay.
Yeah, but, and this is a big but, a more leisurely pace could easily fill much more time. Weeks, even.
Right.
The key is really prioritizing what you want to see, because the museums alone, they're incredibly vast. You could spend days just in one.
That connects to something you mentioned, right, about actually absorbing things.
Exactly. Knowledge is most valuable when it's truly absorbed, not just glanced at. Rushing through a museum, it can really diminish the impact.
So pace yourself.
Definitely. We'd recommend allowing at least half a day per major museum if you're moving quickly, or even a full day if you prefer to really dive deep and appreciate everything without feeling that constant pressure to move on.
Makes sense. Okay, getting there. Airports.
For air travel, Reagan National, DCA, is hands down the closest and most convenient. Like, it's right across the river.
Super close.
Yeah. But Dole's, IAD, and Baltimore, Washington, BWI, they're also viable options. Sometimes you find better flight deals going into those.
Worth checking all three then. And trains or buses.
They arrive right into Union Station, which is actually closer to downtown than any of the airports, even DCA. So very convenient if you're coming from the Northeast Corridor especially.
Good to know. Now here's a big one. Driving in DC.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Here's a powerful, unanimous piece of advice from all our sources. Strongly consider not driving in D.C.
Seriously.
Seriously, if you're coming by car, the best plan is usually to park it maybe at your hotel, maybe in a long-term garage, near a metro stop outside the core, and just forget about it.
Way. Traffic.
Right?
Parking.
Both. The congestion is severe. Really bad. And parking is not only expensive, it's incredibly scarce, especially around the main sites. You'll save yourself so much time and frustration by relying on other ways to get around.
Wow. Okay. That's a critical tip then. So once you're in the city, how do you get around?
Well, the good news is, getting around is surprisingly easy
Yeah.
and often quite enjoyable.
Oh, yeah.
D.C. is a remarkably walkable city. You can cover a lot of ground and just soak in the atmosphere on foot, which is great.
Nice. What about public transport?
The metro system, the subway, it works fairly well for reaching major sites. It connects most areas you'll want to visit. Though, do keep an eye out for potential delays, especially during rush hour or track work weekends.
Standard city stuff.
Pretty much. And for a really popular, cheap, and convenient option, Capital Bike Share is fantastic. Those red bikes are everywhere.
What heck, sure, right.
Yeah, great for hopping between memorials or cruising along the mall. On the flip side, ride-sharing apps like Uber and Lyft. Locals actually kind of discourage using them excessively
Really? Why's that?
because they add so much to the city's already legendary traffic congestion. More cars circling, looking for fares.
Oh, okay. Didn't think of that.
Yeah. It brings up an interesting point, too, about DC's unique street grid. It's kind of designed, with those circles and diagonals for walking and public transit. You experience the city far more intimately that way than from a car window.
Makes sense.
And if you do go for a bike, just a friendly reminder, stick to the bike lanes, please, not the sidewalks.
Good point. Don't annoy the pedestrians.
Exactly. It's a common tourist mistake that can be quite frustrating for people walking.
All right, planning sorted. Now let's dive into the heart of it. The monuments, the memorials, the founding documents. This is the stuff people really come for, right?
Absolutely. This is where you really feel the weight of American history.
So, the National Mall. You mentioned it's long.
Yep, that expansive 2-mile green strip, dotted with iconic museums on the sides and anchored by monuments at each end. It really is the quintessential DC experience.
And one traveler mentioned something cool, doing it at night. On scooters.
Yeah. Exploring the lit-up historic buildings at night, specifically on electric scooters. They said it was one of their most vivid memories.
That's fun.
Apparently, it felt like zooming around ancient Rome, seeing the U.S. Capitol all lit up, the Supreme Court, the Library of Congress. It sounds pretty exhilarating, a different perspective.
Definitely memorable. Okay, iconic landmarks. The White House.
Of course. Globally recognized home of the president.
Can you go inside? I know one traveler tried.
Yeah, you can try to book internal tours through your congressional representative's office, but honestly, they are incredibly rare. You need to request them months and months in advance with no guarantee.
Ah.
Our sources confirm even for locals, getting inside is like a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So don't be surprised if you end up just admiring it from Pennsylvania Avenue or the Ellipse.
Okay, manage expectations there.
And, if we think about the bigger picture, while the White House might not seem as architecturally grand from the outside as some people expect.
Yeah. Right, it's not a palace.
Exactly. But its symbolic power makes it an absolutely essential stop. For a photo, a moment of reflection on what it represents.
True. Now, something you can easily see inside the National Archives.
Yes. This is where a profound sense of connection can really hit you.
What's inside again?
It's home to the original Declaration of Independence, the Bill of Rights, and the Constitution, the actual documents.
Wow.
And it's completely free. A truly incredible experience to come face to face with the papers that literally laid the foundation of America. Plus, they have other really unique exhibits too.
That sounds amazing. A must-do.
Definitely. While it is focused on political history, the sheer universal significance of seeing those founding documents, it makes it a must-see for almost anyone, regardless of their background. It's just such a tangible link to the past.
Okay, moving around the mall area, the Washington Monument.
Yep, the big obelisk. Tallest structure in D.C. It's a super useful reference point, actually. You can spot it from nearly anywhere. Helps you get your bearings.
A good landmark. And the WWII Memorial.
Also very popular. Right between the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial, people love taking photos with the pillars representing each state and territory. It's quite grand.
The Lincoln Memorial. One traveler said it was their favorite.
Yeah, it often is. They found it incredibly inspiring, gazing up at that giant seated statue of Lincoln, reading the Gettysburg Address inscribed on the wall.
Powerful stuff.
Definitely. And it's highly recommended for sunset and especially night visits. The lighting gives it a really special atmosphere.
Right, the nighttime atmosphere seems to be a recurring theme.
It really transforms the monuments.
Okay, near Lincoln is the tidal basin, famous for.
Cherry blossoms, if
Yeah.
you time it right in spring. But even without blossoms, it's beautiful.
What memorials are around there?
It's encircled by several significant ones. You've got the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial with those powerful quotes carved into stone.
Mm-hmm.
The Franklin D. Roosevelt Memorial, which is really interesting because it's spread out, integrates waterfalls and nature,
Mm-hmm.
feels more like a park.
Oh.
And then the classical domed Thomas Jefferson Memorial across the water. Plus, as you walk that loop, you'll also pass right by the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, that moving black wall, and the striking Korean War Veterans Memorial nearby.
Lots packed in that area.
Definitely. And again, it's worth emphasizing that truly romantic, often deeply moving atmosphere when these monuments are lit up at night. The Lincoln Memorial especially takes on an even more powerful presence after dark. It encourages quiet contemplation.
Sounds incredible. Okay, let's switch gears slightly. Museums. DC is famous for them?
World famous. And here's the kicker.
Free admission.
Mostly, yes.
Yeah.
Many of the world's best museums are right there. And the 20 Smithsonian museums, plus the National Gallery of Art, offer completely free admission. It's an unparalleled resource.
That's amazing. So within the Smithsonian system, what are the big hitters? The ones you can't miss?
Well, there's sort of a big three that are consistently the most popular. First, the National Museum of Natural History. It's vast. 3 levels covering everything from human origins and disease outbreaks to towering dinosaurs and the dazzling Hall of Geology, gems and minerals, including the Hope Diamond.
Wow. Dinosaurs and diamonds.
Pretty much. Then there's the National Air and Space Museum. Super popular, obviously. A captivating journey into rockets, flight, space travel. Even with some parts under renovation recently, it's still incredible.
Always a crowd pleaser.
Totally.
Yeah.
And third, the National Museum of American History. This one's filled with iconic artifacts spanning U.S. history. You'll see things like Dorothy's ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz.
No way.
Yeah. And on a much more somber note, Emmett Till's original casket. It covers a huge range of American experience.
Incredible scope.
And while those are maybe the most famous, you absolutely shouldn't overlook other vital Smithsonians.
Like which ones?
Like the National Museum of African American History and Culture. It's one of the most sought-after tickets in town, actually. Advanced timed passes are highly recommended. Pretty much at Citadel.
Okay, plan ahead for that one.
Definitely. And the National Museum of the American Indian is also fantastic, offering incredibly rich cultural perspectives, often missing elsewhere.
Good recommendations. Now, you mentioned timed passes.
Yes. This is a crucial, practical detail you absolutely need to know. Timed tickets, or time passes, are now required for certain Smithsonian museums, especially the popular ones, during peak times or even year-round for some.
Even though admission is still free?
Correct. Admission is free, but you need that timed entry pass to get in. So always check the museum's official website online before you go to see if you need to reserve a spot, and do it in advance if possible.
Got it. Check online. Reserve timed entry. Crucial tip.
Absolutely. Avoid disappointment at the door.
Okay, beyond the Smithsonian's, what else is there museum-wide?
For plenty. For art lovers, the National Gallery of Art is spectacular. It's not Smithsonian, but it's also free. Houses an incredible collection, from Renaissance masterpieces to modern European and American works to huge buildings.
Wow.
Then you also have the Smithsonian American Art Museum, the Renwick Gallery, which focuses on craft and decorative arts, and the National Portrait Gallery, famous for its Hall of Presidents. All free, all worth exploring if art and history are your thing.
And Ford's Theater, that's a museum too.
Sort of. It's a significant historical site, obviously, where Abraham Lincoln was shot. It's still an active theater, but there's a museum in the basement about the assassination. And the Peterson House, where Lincoln actually died, is right across the street and part of the site visit. It's a very poignant experience.
Right, very historic.
And here's a recommendation that popped up as a sort of hidden gem, maybe. The National Geographic Museum.
Oh, interesting. Not free, I assume.
Correct. This one charges admission. But the sources described it as an exception to the paid isn't always necessary rule in D.C. It consistently delivers incredibly well-done, interactive, often temporary exhibitions.
Like what kind of things?
Think immersive displays on, say, the terracotta warriors or ancient Egypt or exploration themes. Really high production values. Definitely worth checking what exhibits are showing when you plan your visit if you're looking for something really engaging and maybe a bit different.
Good one. Any other paid museums worth mentioning?
Well, there's the International Spy Museum, which is very popular, very interactive. Planet Word is newer, focused entirely on language, also very immersive. And for those interested in World War II history, the United States Holocaust Memorial Museum is profoundly impactful. It's free, but requires timed passes reserved in advance, and prepare for a very solemn, emotionally heavy visit.
Okay, lots of options, free and paid. Now, what about getting off the mall? Seeing the rest of the city?
Yes. While the National Mall is obviously a must-see, our sources strongly recommend branching out. Go beyond downtown to truly experience what D.C. has to offer, to see where locals actually live, eat, and hang out.
Where should you head?
Well, local favorites mentioned in the sources include DuPont Circle, known for its embassy buildings, shops, and galleries. Adams Morgan is famous for its international vibe and very lively nightlife.
Okay.
U Street is a historically black neighborhood, also vibrant with nightlife, legendary music venues like the 9.3 Club, and Ben's Chili Bowl. And the newer Southwest waterfront, or the Wharf, is appealing for its modern feel, waterfront activities, restaurants, and concert venues.
Any other neighborhood tips?
Yeah, personal recommendations from one source included Georgetown, beautiful colonial-era architecture, cobblestone streets, lots of high-end shopping, very posh.
Sounds charming.
It is. Capitol Hill, the neighborhood around the Capitol building, is more historical, residential, a bit more chill than downtown.
Yeah.
And Chinatown, which is smaller than in many cities, but still vibrant, great food options. Easily walkable to the mall, popular with locals, and marked by that impressive giant Chinese archway.
So definitely worth exploring these areas.
Absolutely. And one more unique D.C. feature while you're exploring neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Embassy Row, mostly along Massachusetts Avenue.
Right, you mentioned that.
Yeah, it's just fascinating to walk or drive along, seeing the huge range of architectural styles in the different embassy buildings. And sometimes they actually host ticketed cultural events, film screenings, concerts, food tastings that are open to the public. That can be a fantastic way to experience global culture right there in D.C.
Cool. Keep an eye out for those. Okay, let's talk food. Is D.C. a foodie city?
You know, it might not be the first place people think of internationally, like New York or L.A., but our sources say it definitely punches above its weight in high-quality dining and has some seriously unique local flavors you won't find elsewhere.
Okay, let's unpack that. What are the signature D.C. foods?
First up, the half-smoke.
You
Gotta try it.
What is it exactly?
It's basically a coarser, spicier, smoked, all-beef sausage, often grilled, served on a bun, usually smothered in chili. It's a pure D.C. tradition.
Where you get it?
The most famous place, hands down, is Ben's Chili Bowl on U Street,
Yeah.
an institution. They even have a vegetarian chili option, by the way.
Good to know. What else?
Okay, you absolutely cannot leave D.C. without trying wings slathered in mumbo sauce.
Mumbo sauce. Never heard of it.
Exactly. It's this incredibly distinct, sweet, tangy, sometimes slightly spicy, reddish-orange sauce. It's almost like a secret handshake among locals, especially found in Chinese carry-out places. It's truly unique to the city. People get very passionate about their favorite mumbo sauce.
Intriguing. Okay, half smokes, mumbo sauce. Anything else?
Well, because of the city's large Ethiopian population and history, you'll find some of the best, most authentic Ethiopian cuisine outside of Addis Ababa. Lots of great restaurants, especially around Adams Morgan and Shaw.
Nice. I love Ethiopian food.
And being close to the Chesapeake Bay, fresh steamed blue crabs, especially in summer, are a big deal. Head down to the wharf or find a local crab shack.
Yum. Okay, a heads up on cost. Dining out sounds like it could be pricey.
It definitely can be. Our sources suggest expecting like $15 to $20 plus per person for even a casual sit-down meal without tax, drinks, or appetizers. Yeah. There's also a 10% dining tax in D.C. on restaurant meals, and a 20% tip is generally expected standard. So it adds up.
How can you eat more affordably?
Well, for budgeting, you can definitely find delicious, fast, casual meals. Think places like Kava, Sweet Green, or local spots for around $10 to $20. And happy hour. Happy hour specials are a fantastic way to save money on both food and drinks, usually late afternoon. Lots of restaurants offer them.
Good tip. Any specific restaurant recommendations from the sources?
Yeah, a few were mentioned. Buzzboys and Poets, part bookstore, part cafe, very D.C. Barcelona wine bar, Estadio for Spanish tapas. For vegan options, Hip City Veg was recommended.
Okay.
Little Pearl Carriage House for something a bit fancier. Little Sesame for Mediterranean bowls, also with vegan choices. And New Vegan Cafe, another solid vegan pick.
Lots of choices.
And here's a truly fascinating historical tidbit for you, food-related. Wok and Roll. It's a popular Chinese restaurant and karaoke bar in Chinatown now.
Yeah.
It's actually located in the very building where the conspirators planned the Lincoln assassination, Mary Surratt's boarding house.
No way. That's wild.
You're right. History is literally everywhere, even where you're eating noodles.
Amazing. Okay, beyond food, what about events and nightlife? What's happening after dark besides monument gazing?
D.C. has a really robust cultural scene beyond the museums. Things like Profs and Pints. These are actual university professors giving talks on interesting subjects, but in a bar setting, over beers.
Oh, sounds fun.
Yeah, very D.C. There are also free performances almost every evening at the Kennedy Center's Millennium Stage. And the city has renowned theater, like the Shakespeare Theater Company.
What about more, typical nightlife? Clubs, bars?
Yeah, definitely. This brings up unique D.C. events, too. Besides the regular cultural stuff, keep an eye out for those embassy events we talked about. For nightlife spots, places like Black Cat in the U Street area, it's a well-known alternative music club. The 9.3 Club is legendary for live concerts.
Heard of that one?
Or Decades, a multi-level nightclub downtown where each floor has music from a different decade. Lots of options depending on your vibe.
Cool. Any crucial tips for going out?
Yes, a very practical one. DC clubs and bars are notoriously strict about ID. They will card everyone, regardless of how old you look. So you must bring your physical, valid, government-issued ID, no photos on your phone, no expired licenses, physical ID.
Got it. Don't leave the hotel without it.
Exactly. And for a seasonal highlight, if you happen to be visiting in winter, the lighting of the National Christmas tree on the Ellipse is a huge popular event.
Nice.
Okay, let's talk practicalities. Budgeting. DC sounds expensive.
It definitely can be, yeah. Hotel prices are a big factor. They're often driven more by business travel and government activity than just tourism.
So what's the range?
Typically, you're looking at $100 on the very low end, maybe further out, but more realistically, $150 to $300 plus per night for something decent and reasonably located. Prices fluctuate a lot, though, depending on time of year and what's happening in the city.
Okay. And meals, as we said, add up.
Right. Meals can vary wildly. $10, $20 for fast casual, easily $100 plus per person for high-end dining. Alcoholic drinks are also quite pricey. Expect like $8 to $12 for a draft beer, maybe $15 to $20 for a craft cocktail in many places.
Ouch.
Yeah. But the silver lining, and it's a big one, is the free stuff. Most museums, the monuments, exploring them all, wandering neighborhoods, all free. That significantly helps you save on entertainment costs, which can be a huge chunk of a travel budget elsewhere.
That's a huge plus, definitely. Allows you to maybe splurge a bit on a nice meal or show.
Exactly.
Okay, packing essentials. What's the #1 thing?
Comfortable walking shoes, hands down. The single most crucial item to pack, regardless of the season.
I believe it.
One source bluntly stated they've never heard anyone regret bringing comfortable shoes to DC. You will be doing a lot of walking, likely miles per day. Don't try to break in new shoes here.
Solid advice. What else depends on the season?
Well, for those unpredictable spring and fall days, packing layers isn't just advice, it's basically survival.
Yep.
Seriously. Temperature swings can be dramatic. You might need a jacket in the morning, short sleeves by afternoon, then a sweater again in the evening. Layers are key for comfortably navigating the mall all day.
Okay, layers for spring, fall, summer.
Hot and humid. Think lightweight, breathable clothing. Hats, sunglasses, and definitely sunscreen are absolute essentials. Maybe even a portable fan or cooling towel.
And winter.
Winters can be cold and damp, though usually not as brutally cold as, say, Boston or Chicago. Still, you'll definitely need a warm coat, scarf, gloves, and hat, especially for walking around the monuments at night.
Got it. What about safety? Any areas to be more cautious in?
For the most part, the main tourist areas of DC are quite safe, especially during the day. Like any big city, you need to be aware of your surroundings.
Standard precautions.
Exactly. One local source did confirm that some parts of Southeast DC, beyond Capitol Hill and the Navy Yard area, have a reputation for being sketchier, particularly at night. So maybe stick to the more common areas after dark, unless you know where you're going. But generally, just use common sense.
Okay, last thing. Day trips.
Yeah.
If you have an extra day or two.
Yeah, great idea if you have time. Alexandria, Virginia is super close and easy to get to.
How easy?
Really easy. It's just a few stops south on the Metro's blue or yellow lines. It's a charming, historic, federal-era town right on the Potomac waterfront. Lots of boutiques, restaurants, cobblestone streets. Very different feel from D.C.
Sounds lovely. Anywhere else?
We could also suggest Annapolis, Maryland. That's the state capital, a beautiful historic town right on the Chesapeake Bay, home to the Naval Academy. It typically requires a car to reach easily, though. Takes about an hour.
Okay, need a car for that one.
Probably. Another fantastic option, easily reachable by train or bus, is Baltimore, Maryland. Only about 40 minutes to an hour away by MRC train from Union Station.
What's good in Baltimore?
Lots. It's great for kids. The National Aquarium and the Maryland Science Center are both excellent.
Yeah.
For art lovers, the Walters Art Museum is fantastic and free. It has a grittier, industrial vibe compared to D.C. Very distinct neighborhoods like Sells Point and Hampton offers a really different, lively, urban experience.
Cool. Good options there. All right, so we've journeyed through Washington, D.C. We've covered iconic monuments, those amazing free museums, vibrant local neighborhoods, the unique food scene.
Quite a trip.
Yeah. This deep dive hopefully has equipped you with a well-informed shortcut. We've tried to distill the key insights from these different perspectives to help you craft your perfect visit.
And Our sources brought up something interesting that visiting D.C. can often be a deeply patriotic experience.
Hmm.
Not necessarily in a rah-rah way, but stirring a greater appreciation for the country, its history, its freedoms, and even prompting reflection, as one source put it, on the problems that remain. So this raises an important question for you, the listener. How might your personal visit transform your perspective? How might it inspire you to connect with the larger picture of American history and its ongoing evolution?
That's a great thought to leave people with. And on a practical note, remember, many government sites, many museums, even the free ones, require those advance reservations or timed tickets.
Yeah.
So use this info, get planning well ahead of time.
Yeah, don't procrastinate on booking those must-see activities, especially things like the White House tour attempt or the African American History Museum.
Definitely. DC is a city that's constantly changing. It's rich with both that monumental history and this really vibrant, evolving local life. It offers an experience that can be both profoundly educational and potentially deeply personal.
Absolutely.
So, what will your personal discovery be?